Hello, my friends. I'm glad you're here, taking a quiet moment to sit with me and listen. Today, I want to share something deeply personal. A story that took me more than 60 years to understand. Have you ever carried someone in your heart for so long that even when they were gone, you still lived as if they were beside you? I did, for more than 40 years. And one quiet afternoon, long after my hair turned grey, I finally realised I didn't need her to be happy. I was 63 that year. The house had grown quieter over the years. My children had their own lives, their own worlds. Most of my friends had moved away, or moved on. But she still lived here. Not in the world outside, but in me. Her voice, her laugh, the way she looked at me that last morning. I had spent decades pretending I'd forgotten. But the truth is, some memories don't fade. They just sleep, waiting for silence to wake them up. That afternoon, I was sitting by the window, watching the sunlight fall through the leaves. The tea beside me had gone cold. I don't remember what I was thinking, only that my heart suddenly felt lighter. For the first time in my life, her face appeared in my mind, without pain. That's when I realized I had finally let her go. People often think letting go means forgetting, but I think it means remembering differently. Not with longing, not with regret, just with peace. I used to replay every moment between us, the way she walked beside me along the old bridge, the time we got caught in the rain, laughing like children. The day she left, without a word. For years, I told myself I'd moved on, but truthfully, I'd built my life around her absence. I compared every woman I met to her. I avoided songs that reminded me of her. I even learned to smile when people mentioned her name. That's not moving on. That's carrying a ghost. I met her when I was 21. I was still trying to figure out who I wanted to be. She, on the other hand, seemed to already know who she was. She had that calm confidence that makes you want to listen. Her eyes smiled before her lips did. I met her in a small library behind the university. She was sitting by the window, reading a worn-out book of poems. The sunlight fell over her shoulder, and I remember thinking, if peace had a shape, it would look like that. We didn't fall in love all at once. It was slower, quieter, like a song you hum before knowing the words. We would meet in the library, then walk home together, talked about everything and nothing. Sometimes silence felt like the most honest language we shared. Back then, I thought love was something you kept by holding on tightly. I didn't understand that some things only stay when you let them breathe. We were young, and the world was noisy. I wanted to prove myself. She wanted to travel, to see everything before settling down. I was afraid of losing her. She was afraid of losing herself. So one morning, she left. No argument, no tears, just a short letter left on my desk. "Don't wait for me, Ta," it said. I didn't know then that those words would echo in me for the rest of my life. I told myself she'd come back. I kept her scarf. I reread her letter until the paper softened. Days turned into months, months into years. Life went on, but a part of me stayed 21. I finished school, found a job, got married. But even through all that, her memory lived quietly, like an old song playing softly in another room. I thought I had buried that part of my heart. But time doesn't erase love. It just teaches it to change its form. Some loves don't disappear. They simply turn into silence. Life has a way of moving forward, even when your heart stays behind. I got a good job, met a kind woman, and eventually got married. We built a life together, a house, 2 children, small dreams that grew quietly like roots under the soil. On the outside, it was a happy life. And in many ways, it truly was. But sometimes, even in happiness, there's a soft echo of something missing. I didn't talk about it. I buried it under work, under responsibility, under routine. Yet every now and then, something small would remind me of her. The smell of old books, the way sunlight touched a curtain, a laugh that sounded just like hers. My wife once asked me, "You seem far away sometimes. Where do you go?" I smiled and said, "Nowhere. But the truth is, I was visiting a place that no longer existed. A time, a face, a feeling that lived only in memory. As the years passed, life kept teaching me how to live without her. Birthdays came and went. Children grew up. I learned to fix things, to pay bills, to make Sunday breakfasts. My love for my wife grew, differently. It was quieter, steadier, more like friendship than fire. But sometimes, late at night, when everyone was asleep, I'd lie awake, staring at the ceiling. And I'd wonder, was it wrong to still think of her? I wasn't yearning. I wasn't unfaithful. It was just a quiet remembering. I think part of me was afraid to forget her, because forgetting felt like betraying who I used to be. That young man who once believed love could last forever. I didn't want to abandon him. So I carried her quietly, like a folded letter in my pocket. Never opening it, never throwing it away. Just knowing it was there somehow made life easier. Years became decades. The edges of memory softened, but never vanished. Sometimes I'd see a woman with hair like hers, or hear a voice that carried the same gentleness, and I'd smile quietly, like greeting an old friend from afar. That's how some loves stay, not in your hands, but in the air around you. You stop chasing them, you just breathe them in. Time has a way of softening everything. The sharp edges of pain, the burning ache of missing someone, they fade slowly, like the tide pulling away from the shore. My children grew up, they moved out, started their own lives. The house became quieter. The mornings stretched longer, the nights felt heavier. I started seeing myself in the mirror more often. Not to fix my hair or shave, but to look, really look. The lines on my face told stories no one else knew. They weren't about her anymore, they were about me. The man who once waited for letters that never came. The man who used to replay memories like an old film reel. He was still here, but quieter now, softer. I realized something one afternoon while watching the rain. I didn't miss her. I missed the version of myself that loved her, the dreamer, the believer, the man who thought love could heal everything. And in that moment, something softened inside me. I smiled. Not because I stopped loving her, but because I finally understood what love really was. Love isn't about holding on. It's about allowing someone to become a part of you and still letting life move on. I looked in the mirror and said to myself, "You're okay now." For the first time, I truly meant it. I realized I didn't need her to be happy. Happiness had been waiting quietly inside me all along. It wasn't lost, I just hadn't noticed it. Since then, my mornings feel lighter. I make tea slowly, open the window, and breathe in the world without rush. Some days, I still think of her. But now, it feels like remembering a song from youth. Beautiful, but no longer sad. Because maybe that's what growing old really is. Learning to love without needing. Learning to find peace in the spaces life leaves behind. It happened on an ordinary morning. The kind of morning you almost forget. Quiet, simple, filled with nothing special. I woke up early. The sky was pale, the light soft. I made tea and sat by the window, watching the world slowly wake. The air was cool. The leaves outside trembled just slightly. And then, without reason, her face came to mind. Not sharply, not painfully, just a quiet presence. I smiled. There was no ache, no longing, no what if. Just gratitude. Gratitude that once, in another lifetime, I had loved someone so deeply it changed who I became. Gratitude that she existed. I looked out at the morning light and thought, maybe this is happiness. Not the kind that burns, but the kind that warms. I realized I didn't need her to be happy. I didn't even need anyone to be happy. Happiness was never something someone gave me. It was something I finally learned to give myself. I took a sip of tea, and for the first time in many years, it tasted perfect. Not because the tea was special, but because I was. That morning, I didn't write anything down. I didn't need to. Some moments are too peaceful to disturb. I just sat there, watching the light dance across the walls, feeling time slow down, and realizing I was finally free. As we grow older, we often think happiness is something we lost along the way. But maybe it was never lost. Maybe it's been sitting quietly inside us, waiting for us to notice. If you've ever loved, lost, and learned to smile again, you already understand. And that understanding itself is peace. Thank you for staying with me, for listening to this quiet story. If this video touched something in your heart, leave a small comment below, or simply press like. Subscribe if you'd like to sit with me again, for more quiet evenings like this. Until next time, stay gentle with yourself.